Guys, and welcome to this pick a card. Today we're going to be going over ancestral messages for you guys. I think it's super appropriate considering it is the beginning of November. A lot of people have celebrated Samhain very recently, or maybe Halloween, or All Hallows Eve, or Dia de los Muertos, or several different traditions that have to do with the veil being thin and ancestral communication. So I just figured we would do a video like this right now. So we are going to, let me get this piece of paper here. So what we're going to be asking is, who are you and how are we related? What wisdom do you wish to share with me? What trauma is affecting my line? How can I heal it? What gifts have you passed me? How can I best honor my ancestors? And what do you want me to know about my future? I'm going to just show that to you really fast, just so you, if you want to take a screenshot of that. And the way that we're going to be doing this reading, I have two oracle decks, and we're actually going to bookend them on either side of the tarot portion. So for the first portion, I have a deck of clarifying oracle cards. They have zodiac signs, physical traits, personality traits, timing indicators, and things of that nature, just to help give you an idea of who is coming through to communicate with you. Then we're going to do the tarot portion with all those questions I just mentioned. And then we're going to use the Moon Oracle deck just to see what other healing messages, or maybe an idea for a healing ritual that you could do. And just any other indicators and messages that we have from your ancestors and your guides. And with that being said, let's go ahead and I will introduce you to the piles one by one. I tried to record this earlier where I introduced you to the piles one by one, and then I wanted to flip the camera so that you could see them all together, but it wouldn't let me do that. So, and I don't have any way of splicing videos right now, so we're just gonna do this and we'll go from there. Yeah, these videos are always like, they're generally minimally edited, if at all, before I upload them, just so you guys know. So pile one, we have I love myself enough to walk away. And your stone is the sodalite. Let me get out of the camera. So this is the sodalite. This is a, let me see, can I get more light over this? Not really. I'll put the camera back where it was. I'm sorry, this isn't sodalite. This is lapis lazuli. Doing it from this angle definitely like doesn't do the stones as much justice as doing it from the old angle. But the other issue with the room that we're in is shadows, so we can't really have shadows in the videos. So yeah, that is pile one. Don't mind my rambling. Pile two, we have You're So Easy to See Through. And when I was pulling these messages, You're So Easy to See Through does sound like a slightly like intimidating or it doesn't feel good kind of message. When I was pulling these cards, it didn't feel mean. So don't let the words it says make you shy away if you do resonate with that card. Pile two, you are the sodalite. So this is our beautiful sodalite here. And I did refresh myself on what all the stones mean, and we'll go over that when we get to your readings. And then pile three, you have this card here. I want to tell you so much. And you are the sunstone. Yeah, this is another one that it just doesn't really do it any justice. So, yeah, hopefully you could see the stones well enough to know how well you resonate with them. If you resonated with one of the messages, maybe you resonate with the timestamp that is associated with your reading. However, the case, go ahead and take a second to decide on which reading you resonate with, and I will see you again soon. Hi, Pile One. So, if you are the card I love myself enough to walk away, or you resonated with the lapis lazuli, we'll give her one more look, then this is your reading. So we're going to go ahead and get some clarifier cards. I'm going to try for about 10 clarifier cards just because there are so many people who watch these videos. As usual, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If something sticks out to you but something else doesn't feel right, then the thing that doesn't feel right simply isn't for you. And let's go ahead and get our first set of clues as to who is reaching out to us at this time. I have my own ancestral candle lit just to help protect me while I reach out to other people's people. Also with, actually really quick, let's get into your stone. Sorry, super disorganized. I feel like with yours too, I'm stumbling over my words a bit and I'm a bit disorganized, which is ironic because your stone was the lapis lazuli, which is a good third chakra, not third, goddamn, throat chakra stone. You see what I'm saying? Like yours, I'm just very verbally disorganized. There could be a history of like miscommunication in your family. There could be maybe some kind of disorder that has to do with the way people communicate. Like maybe someone is mute, maybe someone had Tourette's. Certain types of dyslexia actually affect the things you say, like saying one, like conceptual dyslexia, I think is what it's called. Um, with I love myself enough to walk away. I do feel like either the person coming through is someone who already began breaking certain chains in your family line, or you are already thinking about doing that with your family line. Um, and sometimes, like when there's a lot of trauma in our families and we get super hyper focused on the ways in which we were affected by our own family's trauma, we sometimes have a really hard time seeing the ways in which our parents already broke certain chains. Like they already broke certain chains, they can't be held responsible for breaking all of them, but they broke certain ones. Or maybe a grandparent broke certain ones, or an aunt or an uncle or something like that. I'm feeling the need to bring up that line of thinking, like, you know, maybe substance abuse was a thing that your parents had to deal with when they were children, but it's not something that existed in your family. Maybe something else was an issue in your family, and you are really stuck on, like, maybe in your family there wasn't substance abuse, but there were still issues with codependency. And you know how the codependency affected you, you know, being taught to constantly wait for someone to change, da da da, and you get so focused in on the codependency that you were taught and feeling robbed because of that, that you failed to really think about and honor the fact that, you know, substance abuse was an issue that your parents had to deal with, and they broke that chain, so they can't, like they broke one, they did you a favor there because, you know, what if you would have had to deal with codependency and substance abuse? You see what I'm saying? Like there's possibly already a history of chains and traumas being broken in your family, but you still have to do some of it yourself. Um, Also, with the lapis lazuli is also about being able to properly express your truth. So again, that kind of brings me back to the idea of like not so much codependency, but the idea of waiting for someone to change or like keeping things to yourself in order to keep the peace. Maybe that is something that you have struggled with quite a bit, and you're learning where it doesn't serve you. And so that's going to be a chain that you break, and now, excuse me, your children don't have to deal with that, right? Now let's go ahead and get into your clarifying cards. My God, I'm so all over the place with this energy. All right, Spirit, who is coming through for pile 1, please? Who is coming through? Oh my God, okay, so 3 cards have already come out. We have Capricorn, so maybe this ancestor is a Capricorn. We have scared to commit. So maybe this ancestor had commitment issues, maybe they had a history of failed marriages or relationships that never got to a marriage. Stressed. Who is coming through for pile 1, please, Spirit? Okay. We have Scorpio. So some of you, it's a Scorpio, or maybe they have both Capricorn and Scorpio placements. Cautious. I also want to note that those first 3 came out together and the second set came out together. So maybe the first 3 belong to some people, those 2 belong to someone else. Not as much of a mix and match thing here. But we're going to try for 10. So, Spirit, who is coming through for pile 1, please? Spirit, who is coming through for pile 1? Also, the cautious could go with scared to commit. Unique. It's another trait of this ancestor. Spirit, who is coming through for... Oh, okay. Strategizing. So maybe this was an ancestor who was constantly looking out for themselves, and maybe their behavior came off selfish, but it was actually coming from a really wounded place. We have confidence. Maybe. I'm not sure what the maybe means. Spirit, who's coming through for pile 1? Okay. Physically fit. Okay, so that's the only physical trait that we have here is physically fit. So maybe this is an ancestor that not very many of you have ever actually met in the flesh. For most of you, this might be someone who's farther off in the family tree. You've never actually met them. They were gone before you were born, type thing. Okay. So those are our clues as to who this person could be. But now we're going to get into the tarot, and we are going to actually ask, like, who are you and how you related to me. I just figured we would make that a little bit, give you a little bit more to work with for that. Okay. And for these, I'm just going to ask each question, and what comes out is what comes out. All right, Spirit. Who is this ancestor, and how are they related to pile 1? Who is the... Okay. Okay, so we have the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. And we have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So queens make me think of matriarchs, so this could be a grandmother, a great-grandmother, a great aunt, something of that nature. With the Queen of Cups in the reverse, this is someone who was much more emotionally reserved. And that makes sense here with cautious, scared to commit. Someone who's much more emotionally reserved, much more emotionally closed off. With the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, maybe this was someone who had a lot of money and lost it. Maybe they were never able to get out of poverty. The Queen of Cups in this image, she's wearing glasses, so that could have been a trait that they had. Maybe they wore glasses. Maybe because she honestly, like, she looks a bit older. So maybe she got well into age, or this person got well into age by the time they passed. It does show two little clams next to her, oysters next to her. So maybe this person had children. They were a single parent, perhaps. These are all indicators of who this person could be. Because of the existence of the children, I am thinking this is coming more directly from your maternal or paternal line, like not an aunt, not an uncle, not a cousin, nothing like that. I'm thinking that this is definitely going to be a great grandmother or possibly a great grandfather who had more of a feminine energy. So let's see. Spirit, what wisdom does this ancestor wish to share with pile 1? What wisdom does this ancestor wish to share with pile 1? Okay. How many cards is that? It's 3 cards. Okay. So we have the Page of Swords in the up hand. We have the Mystery. That is the High Priestess. Pisces or Taurus energy. And then we have the Six of Swords. Okay. So with the High Priestess here, you definitely could be someone who maybe you went a different path spiritually than the rest of your family. Or maybe you've been having inklings to go a different path spiritually than the rest of your family. Maybe this is something that this family member did, and they want you to do the same thing. So maybe there's some religious trauma in your family, maybe there's some spiritual trauma. With the Page of Swords here, that does make me think of someone who doesn't communicate in the most tactful manner. There could be an indicator here that whatever intuitive hits that you get, you are meant to keep them to yourself. You do not need to be communicating them with family members, or if you do, do so cautiously. The Six of Swords makes me think of someone who is attempting to be stealthy. Attempting to move on, go elsewhere. If you've been wanting to move a distance from your family, they're supporting this. There's a feeling of support here from this ancestor that whatever your intuition is telling you to do, be super careful about who you share it with and move in silence. That is something that I'm getting here. I just heard mum's the word. It's funny too because I was looking down at the roses and I heard mum's the word. Like those aren't mums. But yeah, so that is the wisdom I'm getting for you, pile one. So let's move on to what trauma is affecting my line. Though we've gone over a couple examples of what that could be, so let's see what else I have. What trauma is affecting pile one's line, Spirit? What trauma is affecting pile one's line? It's taking forever to come out. Maybe you guys have a lot of like elephants in the room kind of situation. So we have transformation, that's card number 13, Scorpio energy. And we have the Ace of Cups in the reverse. So Ace of Cups in reverse does make me think of like people who cannot get emotional bonds off of the ground. Someone who has a hard time creating emotional bonds. Creating not that it's super healthy to create attachments, but like maybe homes come in and then homes leave kind of thing, or material goods. Even though cups is not really material goods, yeah, it's this feeling of you don't let yourself get attached to anything, you don't let yourself create connections with other people, you don't let yourself connect. You don't let yourself connect with other people, and that is trauma that has happened throughout your family. It could be that a lot of the people in your family, like marriages, are based on comfort and attachment rather than actual connection. With transformation here, however, transformation as a form of trauma, that does kind of bring me back to the idea that maybe there is a history in your family of, one person breaks this cycle, this part of the trauma cycle, another person a little farther down breaks this portion of the trauma cycle. I feel like, yeah, there's trauma being broken very slowly in your line. It could be that, however, if you were to be the one to learn how to connect with other people, learn how to have bonds with other people, that could help make it to where, like, rather than breaking one or two cycles, you break a lot more than that. Making you ultimately what is coined the cycle breaker. The cycle breaker is the person who either, like, if there's one super unhealthy cycle in a family, this person breaks it. They're usually the black sheep or what have you. Or if there's a lot of unhealthy cycles, you could be the person that makes the biggest difference out of everyone else in your family. So yeah, I feel like it's a lot of small changes, but still no one quite figuring out how to create bonds with other people, how to actually make a real lasting change as well. So, next question. How can pile one heal their trauma, Spirit? How can pile one heal their trauma? I also, I am giving you this reading, but honestly, you saw the spread. If you have a deck of your own, try to connect with your own ancestor if you want. I won't be offended if you want to do that. Steal the questions. I don't care. Okay, so for how can I heal it? We have 10 of Cups in the reverse, coming out with the 10 of Swords in the reverse, coming out with the Queen of Pentacles. And once again, she's wearing glasses and a bonnet. This other one too, she's in her oyster, her clamshell, but it looks like a bonnet. She's also wearing a bonnet. So with the 10 of Cups in reverse, I know what it says. I'm just hesitating to be the person to say it. So with the Ten of Cups in the reverse, if you have been playing with the idea of not having a family of your own, of deciding, you know what, I know how the shit can end with me. I cannot reproduce. I can decide to just, whoop, I'm done. I'll be the last one, thank you. If that is something you've been thinking about doing, that is a way in which it's being suggested that you go about that. If you want to have a family, have a family. I'm not telling you not to. I am giving you permission, and your ancestors giving you permission, that if you've been toying with the idea of not continuing your line, your ancestor says to do it. Don't continue your line. If that's what you want to do, do it. With the Ten of Swords in reverse, however, the Ten of Swords in reverse does talk about not being ready to do what it is that we need to do, like delaying a painful ending. So again, some of you, it could all, once again, it could be that, like, you know, maybe, so I feel like with the Ten of Cups in reverse, people, you don't have a large emotional connection with the idea of continuing your line. You're cool with ending it. You just kind of wanted to have someone tell you it's okay to do so. With the Ten of Swords in the reverse, people, I feel like that's more like you think it might be the logical thing to do. You've thought about it, but the idea breaks your heart. That's a perfectly normal and human response to that. If that is not something you entirely want to do, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. I'm not here to tell you what to do, and quite frankly, your ancestor technically isn't either. This is just what the advice that they're giving you. Okay? With the Queen of Pentacles, however, coming out with those other two, the other way I could interpret this, for those of you that don't want to end your line, or the idea of it's too painful, or you've already had children, focus on career and stability before you have the family. Especially if maybe some of your trauma is, if your trauma is related to people getting married for the sake of security, but not for the sake of love or romance, create security yourself first. Create your own security first. Don't stay in unhealthy or toxic connections just for the sake of security. That could be another thing. I did mention codependency earlier. So maybe, you know, you can break the cycle by having your own money, your own income, and not staying in a connection just for the sake of the money. I just got another thought. There could be some of you, this isn't very many of you, there could be some of you that you already have a family, like you're already in a connection with someone, like you're married, you already have children, but maybe you're wondering if you are really actually the best thing for your children. I am not going to tell you yes or no. I am not going to tell you yes or no. That is for you to figure out whether or not you are the best thing for your children. From personal experience, I do not feel everyone is meant to have children. But I don't know you. I don't know your situation. What I am going to tell you is there's no shame in wondering that. There's no shame in wondering that. There's no judgment in wondering that. If you already seek therapy and seek help, you could maybe address that with your therapist, or address that with someone that you know you can open up to. Though bear in mind, we did already say with the Page of Spears here, be careful about who you open up to. But if that's a thought that you're privately having, maybe you need to sit in meditation with the thought. Put a lot of, consideration into what you're thinking. Um, and I know it sounds cruel that I'm sitting here, and I'm not telling you to not do it. And I know people are going to come at me and tell me that I should be telling you not to do that. But again, I know from personal experience that some people are not always necessarily meant to be parents. Like if they are too wounded to be able to raise their children without further wounding them, reality isn't black and white. Reality is not black and white. I also did not think this reading was going to go in this direction. But yeah. I think the answers I've shared with you on question number 4, how to heal the trauma, none of those are easy answers. None of those are pleasant ones. And you need to sit with that. We're, however, going to move on to the 5th one, which is what gifts has your ancestor passed on to you? There might be some medicine in the rest of these answers. So let's see. Spirit, what gifts has this ancestor passed on to pile 1, please? Okay, that came out pretty fast. The 5 of Pentacles. So the gift that this ancestor has passed on to you is being able to do with what you have, being able to get by with what you have. And understanding that money does not have to equal abundance. That money and abundance are not the same thing necessarily. Spirit, how can pile 1 best honor their ancestors? How can pile 1 best honor their ancestors? We have the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse. So allowing yourself to be a little bit more selfish. Allowing yourself to be selfish, not doing things simply because you feel obligated to do them. Maybe for some of you, it's not that you already have a family and you're thinking about walking away from them, but maybe for some of you, there's a family business and you don't want to do that, you want to do your own thing, or maybe you're being expected to look after your parents, but you had a difficult upbringing with your parents and you don't think, I'm sorry, I thought I felt something that was weird. Maybe you had a difficult upbringing with them. Sorry, that was weird. Maybe you had a difficult upbringing with them and you don't want to take care of them. That could be something that you are considering, that you don't feel that you are the right person to take care of them after all. Let's go ahead and move on to the next part of the reading, which is Spirit, what does Pile 1's ancestor want to know about their future? What does Pile 1's ancestor want them to know about their future? We have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. So the Knight of Wands in the reverse, if you're worried about your ability to learn to control your reactions, that is something you're actually going to succeed in learning how to do. Learning to control your actions, learning to control how you react to things. For others of you, it is a warning to not squander your talent, is what I'm getting there with that. Don't mind me, I just like playing with the cards. Alright, so Pile 1, we're going to move on to the Moon Oracle. If you're wondering about the pausing I did earlier, it's because, like, for a second, way earlier, I thought I felt like it was almost the sensation of, like, say you're sitting on a trampoline and someone bounces you up. It almost felt like that. And then I just kind of felt a little uneasy afterwards. I don't know why I'm sharing that with you. Maybe it's confirmation of some sort for one or two of you. Everything's fine now, but yeah. Okay, what Moon Oracle messages does Pile 1's person have for them? Or Pile 1's ancestor? What Moon Oracle messages does Pile 1's ancestor have for them? Okay, we have number 10, I craft my core desires with certainty and ease. So this is a intention candle, if I remember correctly. So the number 10 could be an indicator that your ancestor is nearby. She's literally making something in there. The vase looks to be in Grecian style to me. So maybe you have Greek ancestry. She's wearing a little headpiece. I see feathers. I see what looks like a broken, like, little pot thing. It also doesn't show an actual moon cycle on this card. Most of them do. Instead, it shows several little circles, like, just in a row. So maybe circles are in some way significant to you. So yeah, you have an intention candle for your ritual. So with intention candles, they're super simple. You pick a candle whose color resonates with whatever your intention is. You write the intention on the candle, and then you put little symbols all around it, and then you dress it in some type of oil that resonates with, again, whatever it is that you're trying to bring. And you light it and you focus on your intention and achieving whatever it is that you desire as it burns down. That's an intention candle. Pretty simple magic there. And Pile 1, that's all I have for you. It has been real for this reading. Thank you for coming to the reading. Thank you for sticking through the reading. Parts of it were definitely a little uncomfortable, but we got through it. And I will see you again soon. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please do not come for me in the comments. What I read is not always necessarily personal advice, so please don't come for me in the comments. I'm just reading what I see. And I'll see you again soon. Be good, be safe, and love and light to you. Bye. Hi, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. If you resonated with the card, You're So Easy to See Through, or the Soda Lights, then this is your reading. So the reason I didn't want you to take the phrase, You're So Easy to See Through, personally, is because with Soda Light is about self-acceptance, self-assurance, self-confidence, being able to be with ourselves and sit with ourselves. It's definitely a stone that I would recommend to someone who was on the more insecure side. So the way I was interpreting the message, You're so easy to see through, is for starters, I feel like this is an ancestor that you possibly did know, and someone who did know you pretty well, or who understood you better than you possibly gave them credit for, or just simply understood you better than other people did. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into the oracle cards. I'm going to try for 10 of them, just to give you some clues as to who this person could be, but then like our first tarot question is going to be, who are you? So let's go ahead and get into that. Yeah, this energy is definitely different. I'm not stumbling over my words like I was with pile 1. With pile 1, I was definitely stumbling. Here, I feel like I'm choosing them much better. So okay. Needs direction, so that's one clue as to who this ancestor could have been. Distracted. So maybe this was someone who was a little bit of a lost soul when they were alive. Did you guys see that? I just saw a little orb. Okay. Dating others. Interesting. I don't know how that's related to this. Seeks forgiveness. So maybe for you this isn't an ancestor, but maybe it's somebody who was more of a friend, or a lover who had passed on, or an ex-lover who had passed on. And maybe there were some issues in your connection with them. Physically attracted. Okay, if just because of some of the things that we have here, if you don't have anyone that you at one point were in a romantic connection with, or could have been in a romantic connection with, that you know who passed on, this is definitely not your pile. These are people who have a guide who is not related to them, who they either did or could have had a romantic connection with. Okay, so not something I was thinking I was going to get with these piles, but last pile also surprised me. What else do we have here, Spirit? Who is pile 2's ancestor? Pile 2's ancestor, who's coming through? Ideological differences. Pile 2's ancestor, okay. Responsible. In a relationship. Pile, so you've got to tell me what this is about. You have got to tell me who this person is. Like, who is this person? Pile 2. I need to know. Oh my gosh. Seriously comment if I'm connecting with someone who no free time, like this was like your ex-spouse, someone you co-parented with, maybe like you had a child with this person. Won't change. These are supposed to be clues as to who is coming through, and if I didn't know any better, I would think I was doing a love reading right now. You need to tell me who this is or what's going on here, like just so I better understand what's going on. Okay, Spirit, the ancestor coming through for pile 2, who is this and how are they related? Okay. We have the Hangman in reverse. Oh, wow. Weird. Did you hear that? It sounded like something fell or something. I don't know. So the Hangman in reverse is Pisces energy. That's card number 12. The Hangman in reverse is someone who is just kind of constantly stuck, stagnant. It did say needs direction, distracted, as to who this person was. Won't change. That's a type of stagnancy. So whoever this is someone who was stagnant, had a hard time changing, or had a hard time seeing things from a perspective other than their own. Okay? What wisdom does this ancestor have for pile 2? Spirit, what wisdom does this ancestor have for pile 2? We have the 9 of Wands in the reverse, coming out with the Chariot, which is card number 7, Cancer energy, literally the opposite of the Hangman. Literally the opposite. I feel like more than anything, this is a message of surrendering. Surrendering to what is. Because the 9 of Wands in the reverse, the way I would automatically want to interpret that is not that you're being told to give up. It's not that. It's being told that, like, the way you're going about something right now, you're not going to get anywhere. The need to surrender. With the Chariot here, it is forward movement, and there is a type of forward movement that comes with surrendering. Say, for example, that you are trying to get into Harvard, and you are now applying for the 3rd time to get into Harvard, and you're staying stuck without any kind of higher education because you keep trying to get to them, but this other college, Chico State, Cal State Chico, maybe, accepted you, right? They accepted you, but they're just not Harvard. But it's the idea that if you would simply surrender to what is, that Harvard isn't taking you, but Chico will, you will now make forward movement. But if you keep stubbornly doing the thing that isn't working, you're actually going to stay stuck because of it. So this could be a situation of you needing to learn from this person's mistakes, is kind of what I'm getting here. Okay, so what trauma is affecting pile 2's line? What trauma is affecting pile 2's line? What trauma is affecting pile 2's line? We have the Three of Cups in the reverse. So maybe there's a bit of workaholicism. It could be workaholicism, like you don't know how to let loose and have fun. You don't know. There could be some like issues with being a little bit of a control freak that run through your family. There's something else on the tip of my tongue and I forgot it. There could be a level of ungratefulness. Like your family constantly wants more and more and more. You can't simply be happy with what you have. There could be some of that. Like nothing is ever enough. So yeah, those are the things that fall under the umbrella of the Three of Cups in reverse as far as trauma is concerned. Okay, Spirit, how can pile 2 heal their trauma? Yours is far less complicated than pile 1's was. Four of Cups. So how can you heal the trauma of Three of Cups in reverse? The Four of Cups. That's really curious because Three of Cups in reverse, the trauma itself would be being a control freak, not knowing how to have fun, not knowing how to let loose, not knowing how to be okay with, not knowing how to celebrate little wins. Adversely, it could be that you have too much fun. It could be that you have too much fun. It could be because Four of Cups is exercising self-control, it's discipline. Then again, one of the definitions, like when you're learning tarot, one of the definitions of the Four of Cups is actually holding on to everything too tightly. So maybe, yeah, you're being asked to be a little bit more loose, let go of some of that self-control. Let go of the need to control things and the outcome, like you're safe. I feel the need to tell you that you're safe. You don't need to control every little thing. Maybe for some of you, this was a ancestor who was a workaholic too. All right. Okay, Spirit. What gifts has this ancestor passed on to pile 2, please? What gifts has this ancestor passed on to pile 2? We're already almost halfway done with your reading, by the way. What gifts has this ancestor passed on to pile 2? We have the Queen of Wands. So you were given the gifts of being confident, charismatic, sensual, having a lot of energy, a lot of creativity, being very fiery. You could be the kind of person who could very well do everything on their own if you really wanted, or who is good at getting other people to do what you want. Yeah, I feel like I'm talking to a line of workaholics or a line of people who are very good at being influential and stuff like that. How can I best honor my ancestors? Spirit, how can pile 2 best honor their ancestors? We have the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. How can you best honor your ancestors? Don't chase wealth. Do not chase wealth. Don't put work in front of your family. Don't put money in front of your family. Don't be greedy. Again, there was this feeling here of I'm sorry, I just looked down and realized that I misinterpreted one of the cards. So we're going to rewind for a second here. So maybe that misinterpretation was because some of you needed to be told that you needed to loosen up a little bit. And maybe some of you needed to be told that you also needed to have more discipline. So back to the question of how can I heal this? How can I heal my trauma? The Four of Cups is reunion. The Four of Cups is reunion and celebration, things like weddings, graduations, things like that. So yeah, you don't celebrate, you need to celebrate. You need to have big celebrations. You need to actually connect with other people, share your blessings with other people, share your joy with other people. For some of you, if there's someone that maybe there's a person that you're in love with, but your family would never approve of them because maybe you do come from money and they don't. Well, Spirit's telling you, your ancestor is telling you, be with that person. Graduation came up and I did use the college example earlier, so maybe some of you are considering going to a school that isn't as reputable, or maybe that's the school that accepted you. Do it. Get your degree, graduate. You don't have to do everything exactly as your family did. I feel like there's just such an emphasis here on reputation, money, outside perception, and that is something that you are not meant to continue to be trapped by. Okay, coming back to where we were. How can you best honor your ancestors? Yeah, not worrying about wealth, not putting wealth before family, not putting money before family, career, anything like that. Do not chase wealth. That's enough of that has been done. You don't need to keep doing it. Do you need to have enough to live comfortably and get by? Absolutely you do. But you don't need to be wealthy. No one actually needs to be wealthy. It's nice, but if it's been a plague on your family, well, guess what? You need to end that. All right, so we have question number 7. Spirit, what does this ancestor want pile 2 to know about their future? What does this ancestor want pile 2 to know about their future? Okay. We have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. And we have the Seven of Pentacles also in the reverse. So the way I'm interpreting that, you are literally destined to have less. You are destined to not have, if you came from money, you are not destined to continue that legacy whether you like it or not. The Seven of Reverse is also the need to revise your plans. So the need to revise plans and the risk of loss if you don't do that. There is there's a feeling here of trying so hard to hang on to the idea of how you thought your life was going to be. And spirit and your guides and your ancestors are doing everything in their power to get you to go a different path. And you are going to make your life much harder if you don't just do that. If you don't want to continue with the path and the conditions, traditions that your family has always done, like you don't want to continue to do things the way they've always been done, then you don't need to do it. You're not meant to do it. Your family might have expectations of you, but the universe is the one who runs the show. The universe is the one with the big grand picture. They didn't, the universe doesn't consult your parents about what you should and shouldn't do with your life. You are destined to do whatever it is you are destined to do. And an idea would not have been planted into your mind, into your desires, into your soul, if you weren't meant to somehow go through with it. We don't have desires on accident. We don't have ideas on accidents. These are the ways in which the universe works through us. So you are meant to have a more humble life and to not keep beating your head against the wall trying to do things a specific way, because that's not going to work. Some of you might be in a Saturn return right now, because I feel like a lot of the things that a lot of the ways that I'm talking to you is how I feel like I'm talking to friends who are going through a Saturn return, because if you're resisting it, you're literally making your life harder. If you're resisting the lessons of it. So, gonna get off my soapbox here for a second, and we're going to move on to your moon oracle and see what we get here. Spirit, what other advice does Pile 2's ancestor have for them? What other advice does Pile 2's ancestor have for them? Okay, we have, oh boy, I can't quite show that card, can I? Okay. We have card number 15 with I forgive and let go with loving ease. Let go. Gotta do some letting go there, Elsa. So yeah. So 15 might be significant to you. Those are, what are those? Peonies, dahlias, something like that. If you know what that, if you know what this flower is, comment it down below. That could be a symbol for people. Maybe you get insights when you do yoga. The color purple could be significant to you. Let go with loving ease. It's actually been a long time since I've drawn that card, so let's see what. Forgiveness prayer. Forgiveness prayer. I can never pronounce this properly, so I'm not going to try. The Hawaiian forgiveness prayer, that one. The one where you go into a meditative state and you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you, repetitively until the energy actually changes. And there was seeks forgiveness here under. You could be. Yeah, I feel like this is someone that when they pass, you did not forgive them. And you need to, because it's not doing you any favors to hold on to that. So yeah, this was definitely an interesting read. Thank you for coming. Like, comment, subscribe if this was helpful to you, and I will see you again soon. Be good, be safe, and love and light to you. Bye. Hi, Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. If you resonated with the I Want to Tell You So Much card or the Sunstone, then this is your reading. So with the I Want to Tell You So Much card, I got a really strong feeling that for this pile, most of you know the ancestor who's going to be coming through here. Maybe you didn't know them very well, or maybe there wasn't a lot of communication, or maybe they died when you were very young, but you do know this person for sure. With the Sunstone is a stone of confidence, leadership, letting your inner light shine out, drawing positive energy towards you, stuff like that. But let's go ahead and we're going to start with the clarifying oracle cards. I'm going to try for 10 cards, and we're going to get some clues as to who this person might be. Okay? So yeah, I feel like for some of you watching, like you're a little bit of a wallflower maybe. So Spirit, can we get some clues as to who the person coming through for physically fits? Pile 1 actually got this card as well. Spirit, who is the ancestor coming through for pile 3, please? We have secretive. Wow, that goes right with I Want to Tell You So Much. Pile 3's ancestor, unpredictable. Interesting. Pile 3's ancestor spirit, pile 3's ancestor, on a budget. So this was not someone who made a lot of money. Unique. That card actually stuck to my thigh for a second before it fell off, but let's see what we got. Oh my god, where on earth did you go? It is not a reading if I don't drop my cards. There it is. Long distance, it says. Long distance. So maybe this person wasn't necessarily secretive, but maybe like because of distance, like there just wasn't a lot of communication. With long distance, secretive, and unpredictable, maybe this was someone who traveled a lot for work or who would come back spontaneously. We have cautious. I'm getting the feeling of a parent here more than any other type of family member. Like I'm getting a parent or a very close, no, not really an aunt or an uncle. Like I'm getting a parent or an older sibling. Pisces. Wow. Okay. Spirit, who is the ancestor coming in for pile 3? Worried. Which goes right along with cautious. Okay, and then we have health. Yeah. So I feel like that's a lot of little clues that Spirit's giving us as to who this person is. So most of you should know who this is at this point, but part of the spread is asking who are you and how are we related. So who is pile 3's ancestor and how are they related, Spirit? Who is pile 3's ancestor and how are they Related, okay. That's like 4 cards. I'm not going to take all those. Who is pile 3's ancestor and how are they related? Okay. We have the 6 of Pentacles coming out here. So 6 of Pentacles is give and take. So give and take does feel not as much like a parent-child connection. Just because that's not necessarily the nature of them. It's not quite as balanced usually. This feels more like it would be a sibling relationship. Reciprocity, give and take. This is someone that you got on well with. This is someone you got on well with, that there was a lot of reciprocity. For some of you, like maybe you had a single parent situation and you had to take up more of the responsibility than normal. So for you, there might be some more of that give and take than what is traditional in a parent. I almost said parent teacher, parent child relationship. This could be a friend for some of you, like a best friend. We're going to move on. What wisdom does Pile 3's ancestor have to share? What wisdom does Pile 3's ancestor have to share, Spirit? We have the 8 of Wands. Forward movement. Fast forward movement. Taking action. I did say that this feels more like Pile 3. Many of you might be wallflowers. You might be shy. You might not be good at taking action. This ancestor wants you to learn how to take action, how to seize the moment, how to do things not necessarily on impulse, though if you struggle with being really shy and unsure of yourself, maybe doing things slightly impulsively might help break you out of that. And we did have the Sunstone, which is largely a stone of confidence. So question 3, what trauma is affecting Pile 3? What trauma is affecting Pile 3's line? Okay, we have the Emperor, card number 4 with Aries energy, but right behind him was the Lovers, card number 6, Gemini energy. So the Emperor, he is the patriarch. He is the patriarch. So this is a father, maybe a very patriarchal grandfather, something like that. Maybe there was a love affair that there are whispers about in your family about this person. For others of you, I'm noticing this Lover's card, it shows both Tweedledee and Tweedledum, okay? I'm not saying anything with an I word is going on. That's not the direction I was going with this, okay? The direction I'm going with this is that they are both the same gender. So maybe you come from a family where homosexuality is taboo. Maybe you come from a family where that is taboo. That is not the norm. And there's some whispers of stuff that has to do with that in your family. This is a LGBTQ safe space on this channel. So, I personally feel that if you want to love a person who is the same gender as you, that is perfectly well and good. Love that person. I think that's fantastic. Love is fantastic. Maybe your family doesn't think it's fantastic. Again, I don't know how many of you that's going to refer to, but maybe your family doesn't think it's fantastic, but I do. So there could be some, maybe whispers of an affair, maybe whispers of a lover, or maybe a marriage that did not go well that no one knows anything about, things like that. But it's really, really hidden behind the idea of this person being the patriarch first and foremost, kind of thing. Gives very Southern Gothic feel with all this secret family stuff. Okay, so card. Question number 4. How can pile 3 heal the trauma in their family? How can pile 3 heal the trauma? We have the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. So the 3 of Pentacles in reverse is learning to be more independent. It does give me the feeling of like breaking away from structures in terms of like how things are normally done, or breaking away from the norms of a community, working independently. This is another pile where maybe a family business is a thing, or maybe all of your family lives in the community, or maybe your family is super connected where everyone knows everyone's business. And the way in which you are to heal is to break away from that structure. Break away from whatever is normal in your family. Break away from everyone knowing your business. I'm not telling you to just totally hit the road, Jack, and never speak to anyone ever again, but like maybe you need to put a couple states between you and your family. Something like that. Put, 100 miles between you and your family. Like that's just enough to where like they don't have to know things that you don't want them to know, that you don't feel comfortable discussing with them, but you could still be connected with them if you wanted to be. It wouldn't be terribly far away, kind of thing. So, what gifts has this ancestor passed on to pile 3 spirit? What gifts has this ancestor passed on to pile 3? That is 4 cards. That's too much. What gifts has this ancestor passed on to pile 3, please? We have the 2 of Wands in the reverse. So the 2 of Wands in the reverse is you can view it as being slightly delusional or being kind of cautious. I can interpret that either of those ways. Because 2 of Wands in reverse can be not seen reality, so that being a little bit delulu. The other thing it can be is not being ready to step into your own, so being cautious, questioning the way in which things are normally done in your family. That's another way that I could interpret that card. So with those different interpretations, I would say pick whatever one resonates, whichever one feels right. Not every little thing is for every single person. I kind of want to get, Spirit, can you clarify the 2 of Wands in reverse, actually? No, that's 4 cards. That's way too many. Spirit, can you please clarify the 2 of Wands in reverse? Okay. The King of Pentacles. So with the King of Pentacles here, he is a very practical energy. He is an energy that knows how to get things done and do them his way. So that's gonna make me lean more towards being mildly delulu, being mildly delusional, believing things are possible that your family doesn't believe is possible, believing in as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast, a la Alice in Wonderland type energy. If that is something you can do, if you are capable of thinking about possibilities that your family is like, can't do that. Yeah, you definitely got that from this ancestor, especially if they're a Pisces. Please, I'm a Pisces. We are the kings and queens of being delulu as fuck, and it is so fun living that way. So, that being said, how can pile 3 best honor their ancestors? How can pile 3 best honor their ancestors? You know what's funny too is I feel like yours has not been very specific. All of the other ones have been super specific. Yours isn't. Yours is a little vague. So for you, we have the world in the reverse. That is card number 21, Sag energy. So how can you best honor your ancestors? Hmm. So the world in reverse is like incompletion, right? The world in reverse is incompletion. How can I best honor my ancestors? Incompletion. I need a little bit more for that to make sense. Spirit, can you please clarify the world in reverse? Spirit, clarify the world in reverse, please. Thank you. We have the Ace of Swords. The interpretation doesn't make sense to me, but it might make sense to you. I was just saying how this is a very vague reading, and one of the things I enjoy about vague readings is I don't feel like I'm telling the whole world all of your secrets kind of thing with vague readings. Vague readings, usually when I give them, I feel like these audiences are much more intuitive. These audiences can ping on to what truths are for them. That being said, the way I can interpret how can you better honor your ancestors with the Ace of Swords and the World in the reverse, especially coming out with the whole idea of like you were given the gift of being delusional, right? So it's not that you're being advised to never complete any project that you start or to live a life that is super. I mean, unless you want to like buy a van, retrofit it, and go on the road, go ahead and do it. Um, the way you can best honor your ancestors is to go by your own whims. Honor your whims. Honor the way in which you want to live your life, including not forcing yourself to, like, if you explore something for a little bit and you decide you don't want to do it, well, you don't have to. Exploring. Exploring life. Have ideas, explore them. That is the way you can honor your ancestors. Allow yourself to explore yourself, your ideas, the world, life. You are someone who is meant to simply enjoy your life. That is what you are meant to do, is enjoy your life. Live your life, enjoy it. You don't have to do anything major. So maybe you're someone where, like, very similar to pile two, maybe you're someone who comes from a family with a lot of expectation, or again, like, maybe there's all this intrigue in your family and like everything, knowing everything about everyone else, and maybe that stops you from doing things because you don't want your family to develop certain opinions about you. So, but your ancestor wants you to just live your life and enjoy your life and not feel like you have to be overly committed to one thing or another if it doesn't start up a fire inside of you. Sagittarius is the explorer. So if you want to travel, travel. If you want to get 3 degrees and do nothing with them, the world is your oyster. Do what you want. If you want to, go off of a career path onto another career path and then do that for a while and do another career path after 20 years, do it. Enjoy your life. Follow your fire. That is what Spirit wants you to do. That's what your ancestors want you to do. Follow your own fire. It doesn't matter what everyone else thinks. And have the confidence to do it. So, okay, that makes a lot more sense now that I actually said it out loud. But, okay, so finally, question number 7. What does this ancestor want pile 3 to know about their future, Spirit? What does this ancestor want? Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, we'll take those. So we have the King of Swords. Coming out with the King of Cups. Coming out with the Ten of Wands. Coming out with the Nine of Swords in the reverse. That is a lot. Maybe you are someone who really just doesn't, like, you literally live life day to day, and that's why, because literally the biggest portion of your reading is this part, what is going to happen in your future. So you must really live your life in a very day-to-day fashion. So with the King of Swords here, we're just going to take this piece by piece. Actually, no, we're going to start on the right side. So the Knight of Swords in reverse, that is someone who releases their anxiety. That is someone who okay. So if you are currently very, very burdened with anxiety, like you don't just have anxiety, like it actually makes a lot of decisions for you. You do the same thing every day because of anxiety. You don't take risks because of anxiety. That's not going to be a thing for you anymore. However, in order to do that, you need to get to a place where you embody both a King of Swords and a King of Cups energy. One of the things I notice when I look at all these cards, with the exception of Alice in the World card, these are all male cards. This is all masculine energy and masculine expressions of energy, which is typically considered feminine. We have the Emperor here. The Lovers is 2 men. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the King of Swords. We have the King of Cups. So in order to get to a place where you are not burdened by your anxiety at all times, which is a place you are going to get to, you need to embody 2 energies within yourself. You need to embody the energy of the King of Swords, which is someone who is direct, who knows what he wants, who is exacting with his language, right? And I'm just saying, in terms of energy, you could be a woman and this reading's for you. And you need to get to know your masculine energy better. Everyone has both. So again, like, you need to know what you want, be diplomatic, be exacting with your words. And then with the King of Cups here, that is someone who is very emotionally mature, very emotionally available, someone who is capable of being generous with their emotions, someone who knows how to provide without relying on material goods to do it, because you can provide in emotional ways, someone who is safe, right? What I think of, like, if I were to quantify the King of Swords together with the King of Cups into a zodiac sign, if I were to do that, I would probably choose an Aquarius. That's an oddball thing for me to say, I'm sorry. But yeah, if I were to say that an air sign was a little bit watery, I would definitely have to say that's an Aquarius. So that's the kind of energy you need to embody. Someone who is still loving and kind, but a little bit detached. Who loves humanity, wants to help other people, but is still capable of taking your time and your energy back to yourself. I feel like I want to tell you to explore the part of your chart that has Aquarius in it, which I don't think we actually have Aquarius here among these cards. That's just kind of what I want to tell you. But yeah, that was interesting. Okay. Uh, Hopefully this makes more sense to you than it did to me. Alright, so we're going to move on to the Moon Oracle cards. But yeah, you need to get into an energy where you are secure, open, very emotionally safe for other people, diplomatic, say what is on your mind, but in a kind way. Like, and these are going to be qualities that you have if this is coming out. You just don't know how to access them, or you're not super comfortable with them. Are you gonna jump up here? Finn, everybody. Hi, baby. This message is approved by Finn, the cat. Yeah. I'm. Did you nip me? I'm still reading, my love. Yes. Okay, so we're going to get your Moon Oracle card, if Finn will allow. Okay. I'm sorry, baby. I did not mean to fling that at you. Okay, so you have two. We have number 5. I welcome clear vision and inspired action. So eagles may be a sign that this ancestor is near you. It also shows the new moon. And then we have card number 43. I unleash my wilderness, my wildness, and choose to be free. This shows a full moon and a wolf. So wolves could be a symbol for you. Wow, we have eagles and new moons, and then we have wolves and full moons. Both cards show a lot of brown and orange and a little bit of red. So those could be significant numbers for you. Those are the lower chakras, at least red and oranges. So like the root chakra, the sacral chakra. The wildness card talks about like literally going outside and howling at the moon or whatever animal sound you so choose, but like actually like being out there in your wild nature, howling at the moon. With I welcome clear vision and inspired action. I don't remember what that is. We're going to look at the book here. Morning clarity. So morning clarity is when you first wake up, taking 30 to 60 minutes where you are digital free and people, like even people in your household, don't have a lot of access to you. And you would spend that time like with yourself, meditating, reading, maybe there's an art you practice, something of that nature. Again, spending time with you and trying to figure out what you think, what you want to do. Maybe think about your dreams, things like that. Honestly, I don't see why you can't do both of these things, to be totally honest. Both of these cards really, in my opinion, speak to individuality. So, yeah. All right, pile three, that is all the messages I have for you. Thank you for coming to your reading. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this reading. And I am going to cuddle this boy before he bites me. Be good, be safe, and love and light to you. Bye.